Welcome everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. There's a lot different today. Got some plants a little closer, got some blonde. So, excuse me if I get a little, just kidding. This is deadly serious. Time to get down to brass tacks, which I have no idea what that means, but should there be tacks and then be made of brass, that would be serious. Okay, the topic today is being yourself. And the topic came up because I was listening to some radio shows, and specifically about Arnold Schwarzenegger and his the news that he had a child with one of with a staff or a maid or something like that, out of wedlock. And it just really shines a light on this duality in our culture of the image of what we're supposed to be and the image of what we actually are. I mean, it feels like that we're constantly discovering that people who put themselves and portray themselves in a certain light are then discovered to be not that way. And it's too bad because we have the spiel. We give lip service to this idea that, be yourself, be an individual, pursue who you are. That seems to be kind of like an American value, independent and freedom and, fierce individualism. But we really have more of a do what I do, not what I say. Because although we have all sorts of children's stories and we say be yourself, we really want people, culturally, we want people to fit into certain specific roles and identities and certain grooves. And then when somebody steps out of those, we attack them. So people are encouraged really to hide it. I thought it was a fascinating thing. If you look at politicians, if you were, let's say I'm a male politician and I'm having sex with a woman who is not my wife. Now, if I lie to my wife and I lie to the public and I have an affair filled with deceit and lies, if I got caught having an affair, I could ask forgiveness and people would probably, forgive me to some degree, depending on my rank and those things. But for the most part, as long as it's somebody of the same sex as me, people will forgive you. Now, if you were a male who, through negotiating and talking with your wife, realized that you were open in your relationship and you could have sex with other people and it not affect the bonds of your marriage. So you had no lies, no deceit, but you simply lived an alternative lifestyle. Now, if you were honest with the public, there's no way you'd have a position or a job. Which is why we have this almost culture of adultery, because we would rather have you lie and then do something else. And that's true in so many parts of what we are. If you look at what we have, the role models that we have if you look to magazines and movies and things, you have people who are airbrushed and steroids and, all sorts of these ideals that are just impossible. Which leaves us in this wacky, messed up situation where we're not okay with who we are and we're striving to be someone we're not, that we can't be. We can't be it because it's not real, and we can't be it because it's not what we are. It's so depressing. So what we do is we get really focused on the celebrity culture. We get focused on, and this is, our media does this, where they get us involved in Schwarzenegger, they get us involved in Kardashian, they get us involved in whatever celebrities and even political celebrities, whatever. That is what we become, consumers of the information, consumers of products that will make us more fit into the box of what we're supposed to be, and which is great for the power structure of the system. But it is a catastrophe. It is a Armageddon. It is a holocaust for our souls. Because the only thing that is really matters is our personal experience. We get so caught up in media and caught up in caring about things that don't really affect our lives that we miss out on our own lives. I was listening to a great speech talk by Terence McKenna, and he was saying that, he was really talking about these ideas and about how that when we get caught up in these stories of people that are not a part of our actual lives, that don't affect us in any way, we are missing out on the miracle of life, which is the now. Everything amazing, everything worth paying attention to, everything worth sacrificing for is now. This now experience, our personal experience of the cosmos, is the pinnacle. It is through that experience that we have spiritual understanding. It's through that experience that we have peak experiences, that we have feelings of connection. It's through that experience that we resonate with the frequency of the universe. And so, it is far more than just, us wanting to fit in with our culture. We're actually in the process of fitting in with our culture. We are losing the very gift of being a human being, the very gift of consciousness. That's huge. And it's so hard to not get sucked into that, because where the voice is reminding you that what's important is here and now. Maybe you have a church that does that. Maybe you have some Buddhist teachers. Maybe you have some meditation. Maybe it's yoga. I think that's one of the reasons why yoga is so popular, is because it's one of the few places where we are encouraged to get present through breath, through movement, through body. Be here now. That is the only doorway to true human experience, to connection with the universe, with divine awareness. So thank goodness you're here now. Thank goodness we have this moment to recalibrate, reconnect, and remind ourselves that this moment and this connection is the gift. And when you practice and keep coming back to this moment, this now, then everything is a part of our story. Everything is part of our experience. A blade of grass, the face of a stranger, breeze on our skin. Every single thing is a part of our narrative. If we keep cleansing, keep purging the outside voices telling us what the story is supposed to be about, what is important. I was once in the jungle in Costa Rica on this tour through a cloud forest, and everyone on the tour, including the tour guide, was all so focused. I think it was trying to find monkeys, because monkeys are just like the coolest thing. That's the pinnacle. That's it. And so we spent hours trudging through the mud, kind of frustrated because we hadn't found them yet. And they kept saying, I know another place where they're always hanging out. We're gonna go there. Trudging. And after a few hours, I was like, wait a minute. And I kind of let the crowd, the tour, move away from me. We're on this little muddy path with lush jungle all around, and I was like, okay, let the crowd walk away. And I just sat down. Well, I crouched because it was pretty muddy, and I crouched down, and I just looked, like in a 2 foot by 2 foot area on the ground, and just little bugs and decaying things and leaves and things growing and flowers, and I was just like, whoa. And then, get a little close, and little thing, and it was like, whoa, there is so much happening here. And then I kind of looked up and looked out to jungle as far as I could see, as dense as you can imagine. And I was like, we are surrounded by amazing things. It is literally clinging at us, jumping on us. Miracles and craziness and wacky natural wonders. But we are missing it all because we accepted the story that the monkeys are what it's about. And in our day-to-day lives, we fall trapped to that all the time, of what's important, what's What's important? Our finances, our toys, our status, our grade point average, our whatever the story is. When it comes from the outside, when it's a story that is a script being handed to us, then we miss out on the innate, inherent now moment that's filled with gifts and miracles. Like this one. Let's have a hug. Grab yourselves by the shoulders. Try to get present at this moment, this now. Become aware of our body. This body that even as we consciously focus on the stimulus we're receiving, the sounds, the touch, we know that beneath that are countless processes and chemical reactions and pumping of cells and battling of microbes, digestion, all sorts of things happening. Miraculous! The drama that goes on inside our skin is amazing! But that's not the story. The fact that so many things are going right in our culture, in our world, the fact that we're exactly the right distance from the sun for photosynthesis, for this temperature, the fact that we have access to food and clean water and smiles and sunshines, the story is amazing. And there's so many details. It's an endless story. And yet, no, the story that we pay attention to is that of where things fell apart, where somebody lost control and got violent, where two cultures lost their way and attacked, the accidents, the death, and not the death in the beauty of transition, but the death in the, oh, this is horrible, we need to mourn and be scared. Don't do it. As you squeeze this body, remind yourself that the story, the only story that matters is the one that you pay attention to in your mind, the thoughts that you register. And when you can know that you are the authority and keep recalibrating, keep turning back to the miracles in every moment, then you can live in heaven. And every single person on the planet is in that same struggle. And if they are aggressive or angry or in your way, know that they are a victim to the same forces that we are so actively trying to pull ourselves out of. So let's feel compassion for everyone who is struggling with that fight of the external values that mean nothing. Take a deep breath. One more, and imagine all the people in your world as pure, innocent lights, living immensely magical dramas in their own stories, protagonists in their own miracles. And we are all interconnected in one divine narrative. Thank you, universe, for casting us amidst so much amazingness. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all the Love Warriors, happy Hug Nation. I love you. Thank you for shining your light and playing your part and surrendering to the momentum of love, compassion,